very much indeed. Now, if you are aged around about 8, we're not going to ask for your birth certificate. If you are aged around about that, and you might need to just have a little something to do, then our wonderful Kate over here has got some exciting things. So she's got a Cocoa Pops table, which doesn't have any milk in case you've missed your breakfast like us, but she's also got, you're going to be planting some things, and hopefully over the course of the next few weeks we'll be able to see if they grow or not. So if you're sort of 8ish or under and you want to go and join Kate over here, maybe you can enter next year's annual West Street Plant Show. Can we have the slides up, please? And then I'll move them on. So we've been thinking and going to think over the next few weeks about growing things healthily. So what we're thinking about is what's in our soil, because what we grow in, the culture that we are, shapes how healthy we are. So I've got a little pot here. It's got some nice compost in. Just going to add a few Miracle-Gro bits to it to give it a few nutrients. And then for Mother's Day, Bethan brought me a little card, and inside the card, safely kept in an envelope, are some little, they're not actually seeds, they're actually, you plant them like this, the little sticks that you pop into the soil. I'm just going to do that now. You all talk amongst yourselves. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of water. And then if what happens in our house normally happens, Tim will redo this all later when I'm not looking. And then hopefully, because it's been given lots of healthy things to grow in, all these different plants are going to thrive together and grow. And that's what we're going to be thinking about. How do we get closer to Jesus, and how do we get closer to each other, and how do we have a family where we're healthy and safe and we can all grow? Tim, can you join me for just 1 minute? Now, some of you will know Tim. Tim works for the church, and one of the things that is sometimes said about Tim is that you say this about yourself, that he's not particularly tall. Okay, now, height isn't everything, is it? It doesn't matter. But he often says that, and it's often said about him, but I thought it would be good this morning for us to have a little look at whether, because what Tim said to me when I first met him was that he was born at 10 pounds and that he never grew since. So what I thought was, we were at Tim's mum and dad's yesterday, so I thought, let's have a look at what Tim was like as a baby. Oh, look, I know, some cute photos there, and then we can have a look at whether he has grown at all. And I think you'll agree, he's grown a bit, hasn't he? A little bit, thank you. You can go, I won't embarrass you anymore today. But actually, the sad thing for Tim is that even if he wants to, he can't grow any more in height now. But what he can do is grow in his relationship with Jesus and his relationship with all of us here. And that's kind of what we're going to be thinking about over this next series that we're doing. What does the Bible have to say to us about how we grow in our relationship with God and how we grow in our relationship with one another, and to listen to the Holy Spirit who wants to speak to us individually? So the first verse that we're going to kind of have a think about is this in Corinthians. We're probably going to come back to this next week. But it says, you're all one body, but you're all individual parts of that, and every single part matters. So if you feel comfortable, if you don't, that's completely fine. But if you feel comfortable, I just want you to have a little look around. Maybe give somebody a little wave and say hello to somebody, and just have a look at how many amazing, totally different, and totally wonderful people there are. And if you're new here, you're every bit as wonderful. You might actually be more wonderful than some of us. But it's really important to recognize that we are one body when we come here, and when we're separate from here, many parts, and every single part matters. So what might that actually mean? Because what one plant needs to grow is different to what another plant needs to grow. I think they all need water. This is our third ivy. We've promised not to buy any more. It's not good for ivies. But sometimes if you plant something in the wrong soil, it doesn't grow very well, but it might be a really good soil for something else to grow in. So what might that look like? Well, it might look like, for some of us, we find it easier to connect with God if it's quiet and we're sitting still. For other people, not just the children, me included, definitely Tim, we might need to move about a bit to learn. And so actually, how do we all together in one family grow together in a way that's helpful for everybody? Some people might be very used to coming to church. So when Rachel says, let's stand up for worship, you know what she means because you've been coming for a long while. Some people that are new might not understand that at all. We've got different abilities, different cultural backgrounds, different strengths, different weaknesses, and the challenge is God's put us in this amazing family together. So in this series that we're going to be unpacking over the next few weeks, we're going to be thinking about how do we have a community where everybody is able to thrive in the way that God has made them as an individual. You will be grateful that there isn't another Lisa, and there isn't another Tim, and there isn't another one of you, but somehow God has put us into this family together to grow together. So maybe one of the challenges from this week might be, how can you show somebody that you care about them in a way that's right for them? Not the way that you might usually choose, but what would make them feel special and them feel valued and them feel loved. We're actually really good at doing this. We're not doing this series because we don't think we do this well. We're saying we love each other. How do we do it even better? And how do we be even better news to people that might come and join in with our family? On this next slide, you'll see a Christmas tree. Now, why have I put a Christmas tree on this slide? Apart from the fact that I love Christmas, and now you love me, you're going to indulge me in talking about Christmas for a bit. But there is a reason for this. So if you're comfortable, and if you're not, that's totally fine. You can say, I don't actually want to talk about this, to whoever asked you. If you're comfortable, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to talk about any Christmas tradition, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, just a tradition in your family that you really enjoy. So if, you might think, what's something that we do at Christmas that we really enjoy? Have a little chat. Off you go. You've got about another minute, so... Okay, I'm going to draw you back together. But if you want to carry on talking about Christmas, and why wouldn't you? I count this as a personal triumph that I've managed to mention it in May. You can do that. But watching you then, there was a lot of joy. We do this, we do this. You see, this is what happens. When Tim and I got married, we realised that we had different Christmas traditions. My dad's not here today. I had a fall this week, so he's at home recovering. But my dad is Christmas bonkers, which probably explains a bit about why I am the same way. But one year, I got a piano, and because a piano is a bit difficult to wrap, my mum put it under a sheet. And so when I went down on Christmas morning, there was this piano under a sheet. And we took it off, and that became a tradition in our family. So even now, our own children are 30 and 27. But when it's Christmas or birthdays, they say the present's going to be under a sheet, isn't it? Because it's a tradition. When I first explained this to Tim, he was like, that's a bit bonkers. And it is, but it's great. And then Tim said, we always used to get satsumas in our stockings. Apparently for Tim, Santa brought oranges. And so we had to have a think about how that worked. Over the years, we created our own traditions, but what we learned was that we wanted to prefer each other. It mattered to me what made him feel comfortable and what he enjoyed, and it mattered to him the same. And in the same way, we're going to be thinking about each other's needs and what matters. And this verse in John 13 says, Jesus is talking to his disciples, a bit like gathered today, and he's saying, now listen up a little bit. I've got something to tell you. I've got something new I'd like you to try. I want you to love each other like I've loved you. That's a big ask, isn't it? He says, I want you to try something out. I want you to try loving each other in the way that I've loved you. And then he says something even more wonderful. He says, if you do that, when people come in, they'll know you're my friends because they'll see there's something different about this family together. Today, we started the service by taking a picture for Selena. And we wanted Selena to know that we love her. She can't be here. She can't be part of us. We hope for the day that she can again. But we said to Selena, what do you want us to do for you on Blue Sunday, where we think about people that have got ME? And she said, I'd like a cake sale. I'd like you to raise money. And that's what we've done. And then we took a photograph. We didn't zoom Selena in, because that may not have been right for her today. So we've got a photograph. So when she's ready, she can look at it and know how loved she is. We thought about what her needs were, and we met them because we love her. And that's what we're going to be thinking about over these next few weeks. Now, the next slide might be unusual, although I think Ruth Brayer might have a little yes, because we're talking about safeguarding in church. But when we look to the plants, some of these plants, this one's a little bit eaten. This is how good Tim is. He even gnaws plants for all age worship. So this one's a little bit eaten. It's not been kept particularly safe. This is a little bit low, bluebell. They could have been eaten. But keeping people safe is part of keeping people healthy. But sometimes I think when we talk about safeguarding, we think, well, that's separate to what God wants, but it's not. And actually, I've spent some time looking at what does the Bible say about this. Bible actually has 2,000 references. I didn't count them all. I looked it up. But it has 2,000 references about justice and injustice and keeping people safe. It actually says more about that than it says about fasting and baptism and tithing. It really matters because you only really grow when you're really safe. So the Bible has lots to say about the fact that we need to look after people when they're distressed. We need to share our food and our homes. We need to keep our children, our young people, and our adults safe from harm. And we need to be a people who speak up for those that don't have a voice. So being safe is part of being a healthy community together. Some of you will know I spend a lot of my time with people who haven't been kept safe. And some of them haven't been kept safe in churches. And we want this to be a safe place. So I just want us to, if this is okay, I want us to say thank you to Ruth. Peter Midge, I think, is doing safeguarding at the moment. I'm right, aren't I, in that? Penny is. I just want us to thank them. I want us to give them a clap for all the work they do to keep us safe. So can we do that? So next time you're asked to do your DBS check, do it really quickly because it's part of being healthy, it's part of being safe, and I learn every day of the week just how much that matters. So this is what we're going to be unpacking. How do we grow together? How do we love each other? We're doing it really well. How do we love God better? How do we love each other better? How do we think about the needs of other people? And how do we think about our own needs and how we share those? And how do we ground that all in our relationship with God? Because it's not just about being part of a club. We believe that we need to be grounded in the Bible, in our relationship with Jesus, spoken to by the Holy Spirit? How do we do all of that together? So, I hope you're a little bit excited. Now, you might not look as excited as some of the pictures here yet, but I want to encourage you that the Bible's got so much to teach us, that we are doing well, but when we do better, we will all gain from that. Just want to give you a little example. My dad had a fall this week, and he ended up in A&E. And when I came in this morning, Betty said to me, "I've been praying for your dad every day." I can't tell you what that did to my heart. You know, my dad was there in A&E, and Betty was there praying that God would look after him, and he did. So it really matters, those little things. So I want you to go away, and even if all you've got right now is a little seed of excitement, it can grow. And God can do great things, and I've seen God do great things through this. So what does all of this mean then, to finish off with? Well, I don't think God wants you to go away and think, right, next week I'll come back and I'll start, because the series really properly starts next week. So just give myself a week off and I'll come back. Holy Spirit is with us right now. Maybe there are a few challenges. When I was praying over this, there were some things that I felt. One thing was that question about how healthy is my relationship with God right now? What's my friendship with Jesus like right now? And what might I want to do about that? Is there a practical way that you can show somebody love this week? Some of us are able to do that in ways where we might make things or do things, but when you pray for somebody like Betty did, that is a practical showing of love to somebody, and it really matters. You might be thinking, I'd like to be my whole self in church, but I don't quite know how to do that. You might want to think about what your needs are, what the needs of other people are, and how we can meet that. You might just want to ask God to be close to you this week so that out of your relationship with him, you can love others well, whatever you're going to do this week. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to pause and just give us a few minutes to talk to God for ourselves. If you're not used to doing that, it's fine. You can just have a little conversation in your head. It doesn't have to have big words. Mine never do. And just say, what do you want to say to me? And then I'm going to pray for us. Okay, so just have a minute to do that.